Jean-Francois, thank you for this opportunity for us here at White Rose. It's lovely to meet you. It'd be great for you to tell us a little bit about yourself now. Where do you live? Do you have any family?
How do I start? So, my name is Jean-Francois Gisimba. I now live in Germany. I'm a married person, father of 4, so 3 girls and 1 boy. I've been living in Germany for the last 21 years, 22. I came in Germany in 2001 to work for the Deutsche Welle, which is a kind of BBC here. I hope you understand my English.
Yes, perfectly.
Before that, I was a foreign correspondent in Kigali for foreign radios. I've been sending reports for international media, sometimes for the BBC also, the Kiswahili service, for the VOA, the Kiswahili service, but I was mainly the correspondent of the Kiswahili service of Deutsche Welle. And before that, I worked for Doctors Without Borders in East Africa, in Kenya and Southern Sudan, Somali programs. And before that, I was a journalist for Radio Rwanda, and that's before 1994. So I worked for Radio Rwanda until the 6th of April 1994. So I guess you know what happened on the 6th of April 1994. After that, I did not go back to Radio Rwanda. I started working for those international, how do you call them? Rescue or organization. And then while I was living in Germany in 2006, 7, 9, 10, people start telling me that something that a charity that has been started by my parents is falling apart. Then I went there to see if I can help, and it's where I met Glenn and James, who were like, they did not say that in those words I'm using, but the message I got was like, we would like to help, but we did not know exactly how, and we like this orphanage that has been started by your parents, but so it was like we did not even know that there is a Gisimba, because it was run by my big brother. So it was like we did not even know there is a little brother living in Europe. So it was like we can talk. Then I got to know them, and then they helped me a lot in this process of trying to help my brother continue with the work of my parents, and then we became friends, friends of Glenn, of James, of David Brown, like individuals, but also friend of, because you can't go beside it, of the ages. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. We know you were in Rwanda at the time of the genocide in 1994, as you just touched upon there. Would you mind sharing your experience of that time?
In 1994, I was 24 years old. So you see, I'm an old man. I'm about 52 years now. So at that time, I was a journalist of Radio Rwanda, and on the 6th of April evening, I was in the building of Radio Rwanda, and I got out of that building without knowing what happened, because when we were sitting in the building, we had an explosion. But then there were many, it was a period where there were explosions in the town, and we got used to it. So I did not realize that something particular has happened, even if it was a more bigger explosion. Then I reached home. So it was difficult, but I'm not going into details because we don't have enough time. So when I reached home, I did not know what has happened. So then in the morning, because I was tired, I just slept. And in the morning, I woke up with explosions all over the town. The town was burning. And then the radio announced the president was killed. And then me and my other brother Elvis, the first thing was like, what do we do with the children in the orphanage? But the first responsible was the bigger brother, Damas. So we decided to go and see Damas. And when we reached there, Damas was not there. Damas was already in the orphanage. So we went back to the orphanage. And when we came back to the orphanage, when I entered the orphanage, I was shocked. This was a house of only 60 kids. For me, it was like there is 1,000 people inside. Yeah? So there were many people inside. So now we spent 3 months of the killings. So I won't be able in a short time to talk in details how it was 3 months. But the thing is, every hour, every minute, every second was challenging. Surviving 1 second was like surviving 10 years. So there was my brother who will always find ways to bribe the killers with money, with food, or sometimes only begging them so that they don't kill people in the orphanage. Sometimes they won't accept, and they will just pick one person and kill him. One day they killed a group of 7 or 10 persons, I can't remember, who were hidden in the roof. They happened to come down to have food and fresh air when there was a spy there. And then the militia came and took them and killed them. So every day was really challenging. Then when we survived, being there, I thought we were like 800, 1,000. But today, when you see in the crowd, it is difficult to say how many people are. Yeah, I had the feeling we were many, but today, after research of some Rwandan institutions, it is said officially we were around 400 people who survived there. So this work of helping orphans, children coming from very poor families, widow, it is something which started with our grandparents, then with our parents. Then we were trying to do that, and this was just known by some Rwandans in Rwanda. But after such a number of people surviving after the genocide, this story went like internationally, and people were talking about 3 brothers who happened to rescue people. I always say, in fact, it's not that we were how do you say it, heroes or whatever. It's just like we were doing something, we were just trying to survive ourselves, and then people behind us also survived, because we believed when someone come to look for, how do you call it, to hide to you. There is a saying in Kinyarwanda that even when an animal come to you looking for protection, you protect it, you know? So when a person come thinking that there is 1% of a chance to survive, then maybe there is. So this is what happened. It's like we were trying to survive ourselves, and people behind us, they survived also. So and it is not because everyone is doing wrong things, killing people, that you should also do that, because sometimes it is seen like we were doing something particular. No, we were doing what a human being is supposed to do. Yeah. So in brief, this is it is difficult in a short time to talk all the experiences. You know, we Rwandans, when we are sitting together, when we meet in families, yeah, in the evening, during the night, around a glass of beer or so, we talk up to the morning. We go back to those stories. It never ends. Yeah, so yeah, that's it.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. It's just such a remarkable story, and I think, you know, that leads to so many questions for us and in our team. And where did that bravery come from? Where did you know you were going to make that choice to help others survive? This
is exactly what I'm telling you. We never thought we are making a choice.
Okay.
We never thought we are making a choice.
Yeah.
Where this bravery came, it came from the education we got.
Okay.
It cannot come from elsewhere. Yeah. It is that we were raised to know that everyone is our brother. It was an orphanage, and which started home. In fact, I grew up in an orphanage, but home. So my parents were bringing children home, and they will, once a child is in our home, was having the same treatment, the same rights like me. So my mother won't make any difference between me, the biological son, and another boy who is there. In fact, sometimes as a kid, I was having the feeling my mother is treating others better than me, you know? So you know, our lives are the education we got. So when such a thing happen, you don't ask yourself what is the choice I make. It is instinctive, it's automatic. These people, they don't want to die, like I don't want to die. So we try to have a solution, not only for us, but together. So we did not ask ourselves what is the choice to make. No, it was just the thing to do. Yeah.
And those morals and those values that you had, I think were just so inspiring, I think, for our team to hear about too. And were there, the genocide was for a period of 3 months, but of course when you're going through that, you don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah.
Were there any times where you questioned what you were doing, or you become tireless, as in, when is this going to end? How do you live in that moment, like where you said that each second feels like 10 years? How do you have that strength to keep doing what you did every single day for 3 months, not knowing when that would end?
That one is just like anyone. The aim was just to survive the next second. So we did not know when it will end, but like anyone who survived those killings, we thought we did not think we will survive. We thought we were just dragging time, but in the coming 5 minutes we will die. So these 5 minutes did not come until the soldiers of the Rwandan Patriotic Front rescue at where we were. But before they reached where we were, we thought we are just going to die the next second. So there was no opportunity to think, to be tired of whatever. It was just like hanging on, trying to survive the next second. There was nothing like thinking about what you're doing. No, it was just like, I hope I'll survive the next second. Only that. Yeah. The next second, not the next hour. Yeah.
Did those soldiers give you hope? Was that the hope that you knew they were coming? Is that what helped with your resilience to keep going?
That also, I mean, we were always waiting when these guys are going to reach the place where we are. And one morning, the 4th of July 1994, when I went outside, I see guys looking not like the ones I knew. And in fact, I wrote a book which was published last July. It is in French, but now I'm seeking ways of translating it in English and in German. When I went, we were at the Saint Michel. Have you been in Kigali? Yeah? No?
Yeah.
So we were we were hidden in a church because 1 week or 10 days before Kigali was liberated, we were taken from the orphanage to the city center, where we thought, or those ones who helped evacuated us thought it would be more secured. And then we were there hidden in that church, in the underground of that church. So when I went out to see what is going on, a soldier called me, a soldier of the Rwandan Patriotic Front. Come here, hands up. And then I was like, guys, now I have survived. I mean, you are not the one to. It was like, okay, he was doing his job. He wanted to know who I am. But for me, it was like, now I'm going to live, you know. So they found us there, and from that moment, you know, people went out. People did not believe this moment will come. You know, then people went out, starting to, how do you call it in English? To hug them. You know, the guys were they were still doing their job, still scared there will be a bomb there, or there will be, but people, they could not even control the joy of people. So that's how it happened. So really, we did not talk about it, each other, but everyone was thinking about it. When these guys reach here, will be still alive, or they will find us already dead. We knew we knew they will win, because, you know, from the border where the war started to they were now fighting in the capital city. So we knew, but we thought they are being so slow that when they reach the place, we won't be still alive. These people will have killed us. So we were relieved. When they came, we believed we could again live. But before that, I think we did not have really hope that we would survive these killings.
When did you have the realization? You mentioned earlier, you were talking about people labeling you and your brothers as heroes. When did you have the realization of what you'd actually achieved yourself in helping so many people survive?
I think month later. At the moment, that was not my, do you say preoccupation? Mm-hmm. At the moment, I did not think about that. I wanted to live, first of all.
Yeah.
I don't know if I in fact, when we were liberated, some hours later came journalists. They made pictures and videos. When I saw those pictures later, I was shocked. I was looking like the pictures you saw in Sudan or or in Ethiopia in 1980, or in Yemen. That's how I was looking. I could send you those kind of pictures. So at that moment, I was only thinking about living. I was not thinking about we rescued people. No, I was thinking that I have survived it. You understand? So month later, when people started talking about 400 people who survived at the Gisimba orphanage, is when I realized, okay, but at that moment, this is not what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's incredible. And there must have been some moments where that fear that really stand out to you. Were there moments, and I know you said sort of hour by hour and second by second that you had that fear of survival. Were there any standout moments for you where you thought this is it for me? As in you really may not survive.
Yeah. There is another witness of that moment who is also a good friend of ages. He's called Carl Wilkins. I wrote it also in my book. In fact, and I started my book with this story. Someone came to tell us that we will be killed, that the killers have made a meeting and they have decided that they'll come the next day to kill us. So someone who was not a killer, who just infiltrated them to know what is going on, after the meeting, he just find a way to come and tell us. And when he came at the orphanage, I was the one sitting outside at the orphanage. So he told me very quickly, Jean-Francois, I was in the meeting of the militia in Herahange, and they have just decided that they will come tomorrow, kill first of all your brother Damas, because he was seen like the one who is, the rock, who is protecting the whole orphanage. He was the bigger brother. He was the one who was having the responsibilities of the house. And then he said, after that, they will come kill you and your brother Elvis, so that the Gisimba brothers are no longer there. And then they'll come and the next day kill the hundreds of people who are inside. And then he said, I just wanted you to take time to pray and put yourselves in the hands of God. I have to leave because if they see me here, they'll know I came to tell you. So he left. So while I was there praying, I'm not a guy who goes to the church every day, but I grew up in a very Catholic family, so I'm a believer. So I put myself in a room to pray and ask God why. In fact, I was not praying. This is what I'm saying. I was quarreling with God. I was telling him, how can you do this? Where are you? Where is the God I've been told by my parents, my grandparents? Where are you? If you are the God that I've been taught, where are you? How can you let these things happen? So while I was quarreling with God, a child knocked on the door and telling me, there is a white person coming here. We say a Muzungu. Huh? You know that, huh? A Muzungu wants to talk to you. Of course, the Muzungu came from my brother Damas, not from me. But Damas has left. I had organized, in fact, that Damas goes already. Then I went to see the Muzungu. Carl Wilkins is our friends, all of us. Then I told him, look, Damas is not there, but I just want to tell you that in 1 hour or two, they come. No, not in 1 hour. In fact, in a few moments, because they say they will come midday. Now we are midday. In a few moments, they will be here to kill us, all of us. So just wanted to let you know and ask you to stay here, because then you could report about, you could tell the story. That, in fact, there is, before you are killed, because I found myself in these situations many times in the 3 months. Something which came into me was like, I'm leaving no story behind. I was 24. I had no. I was regretting that I have no child. I'm not leaving a child behind me. So it was like, at least you will tell the story that we lived one day. So while and he was like, no, Jean-Francois, I cannot stay here only to watch how they are killing you. No, I'm going to look for help. He was thinking about the soldiers of the United Nations who were in Rwanda. And then I was saying, no, the time you come back, you won't find anyone here. So we were like, not hearing one another. So while we were in this discussion, the militia came. It was like, they surrounded the orphanage. They were like about 50 with guns and so on. At that moment, I thought, we are finished. But then, after 1 hour, we were not killed. It's a story it's a long story. In fact, I lied to the boss of them, the one who was the chief. I said, we were allowed to have these people by a big soldier. And I said, you can go and ask him on telephone. He went somewhere, and this soldier happened to have received a message, because this American who was there was calling on the radio, I'm here at the Gisimba orphanage, a massacre is going to happen here. So in this few moments, the story had already gone, and this chef, this said, no, don't, what are you doing there? So it was like, I told the truth while it was a lie. And this chef militia came and told this militia to leave the place, so that they don't do that in front of a white person. In fact, without saying it, that was my plan. I thought, maybe there is a chance they won't do this in front of an American. So then, but in this few moments, between the moment they come and between the moment a message comes that they should not do that at that moment, I thought it was finished. I thought that was it. Yeah, but we survived it also. But there were many moments we thought it was the end, then it was not the end. I was taken to the common grave, and those who were with me, they were shot. Mm-hmm. And one of the militia decided that they should not kill me, and took me back to the orphanage. So such things.
It's such a remarkable story.
Yeah.
And just I know that's been so powerful to hear that story, and I know it will be for our team as well. I wanted to ask how you became involved with Aegis. How did you learn of Aegis? So
now, as I said, I was living in Germany, and at a certain moment people were telling me that the Gisimba orphanage is falling apart. So I was living in Germany, having my own problems, I'm an immigrant. At that moment I was struggling to have my work permit, my visa, my family, my children, And then at a certain moment I just decided, no, I cannot let this thing fall apart while I'm just sitting in Europe. So I took a plane and went there. And I found the problems which were there. And then, in me trying to find a solution, someone told me, let us talk to Aegis. I knew Aegis. Aegis was in Rwanda before that, in 2005 already. I have heard about Aegis, the memorial in Kigali, but I did not know Aegis. Some British people doing a project in Rwanda. Then someone got an appointment with James, wanted me to meet James and talk with James. And I met James at the memorial. And James was like, Jean-Francois, your story, the story of your family, look like my story, the story of my family. So I'm going to try to help you as much as I can. Then James put me in contact with Glenn. So they found someone who was, because my brother was very sick at that moment. So James told me, Jean-Francois, I would like to help you, but we need to rescue this person, this brother of yours. He has done a great job. We cannot afford to lose him now. You remember that? Yeah? And then, I don't know what they were discussing between themselves. What I know is that from that moment, I worked more with Glenn, and they found, I was told, that one you can ask Glenn and James. I was told they found Clive Owen, who wanted to help. So with the help of Glenn and James, but me, I was mostly working with Glenn, my brother was sent to South Africa for treatment. And then, that was part of it. And then a trip was organized here, three times. And that was the time I visited. That was the time themselves they were thinking about White Rose. And then we had two, three events here in London and in, was that? I did not know. I don't know where we went with this how do you
Southwark.
This how do you call it in English? Cheval.
Horse.
This horse. There was an event we had with where there were this horse with the mother of James and so. And in Kigali also they have Aegis Trust have this education program. I was invited there to speak at these classes. I visited James' parents. I spent a weekend to James' house, so it became a friendship, so to say, but always somehow based on what we both trying to do, because there is this work of trying to help orphans and vulnerable children. And there is this story of ours, and there is what Aegis is doing, which in fact we've been making jokes with James that while they are preventing, we're trying to heal the consequences. So it's like we are on both sides of the same ideal. Yeah.
And you know from your involvement with Aegis just how important the work that Aegis does. You've just summed it up there. Aegis is of course vital and wholly important to the work that White Rose do. We're here for the work of Aegis and to support Aegis. Do you have a message for our team, to inspire our team about the work that Aegis does?
Listen, I've never worked for the Aegis. I mean, I have never been on the payroll of Aegis. But I always tell Glenn, James, others, even if they won't, even if it was like they won't allow me that, but I feel part of Aegis, whether they want it or not. I am part of Aegis in my heart. So, unfortunately, we human beings, we need to work also to pay our bills, yeah. But if it was not for the money, for the needs of everyone to pay his bills, there could be no any other place that one would like to work than Aegis. Because just think about it. what I saw in Rwanda, what happened in other parts of our globe and during the history. Just think being able to do something that will avoid that. We are seeing things that are happening in Ukraine. So just think if someone doing the work of ages could have done that 15 years ago and be able to prevent what is happening today. Will there be any other good work like that one? Yeah, this is the thing. It's a very, very important work. If we take an example of Central African Republic, you know, I was honored, so to say, I was blessed to meet the bishop at that time, who became the cardinal of Bangui in Cologne with Glenn. At that time, it was a time in a country like Central African Republic, which has nothing to do with religion things in the history, but somehow Muslims were killing each other and Christians. That's not a country where such things should happen. If you see the history of that part of Africa, yeah? But just because of people taking advantage in people killing each other or hating each other, this happened. So imagine if there had been a work of ages telling people that no one should tell you to kill each other because of his own interest. Don't accept to do that. This is what you're trying to do. Yeah? Imagine those things could maybe not happen. So, of course, Aegis is doing a great job, and whoever is working for, my message, as you made it, to whoever is working for Aegis is to know that he's serving a great cause, a very, very great cause. Yeah, and that even if the pay materialistically won't be big or whatever, but that this person should be conscious that he's serving a great ideal, and should do that as long as possible. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It's been an honour to have you here,
yeah.
And a privilege to meet you as well.
Thank you.
Jean-Francois, thanks very much.
Yeah, it's a privilege also for me to be here.